Back in the mountains for stage 18 is 208 kilometers with 4 categorized climbs, 2 HC climbs, and it did finish on the downhill, but there was some GC action today. There was another big breakaway to start the day, one of 30 plus riders, but as the profile would suggest, that breakaway shrank down, and eventually, as we hit the Galibier, Nairo Quintana was off the front with Romain Bardet and Alexei Lutsenko chasing behind. So that was the battle for the stage victory, and Quintana looked very strong. Bardet and Lutsenko could not catch him. Quintana soloed to the victory. He took the stage win, and he actually climbed back up into the top 10 of the GC. Speaking of the GC, Alaphilippe was looking pretty comfortable on the Galibier towards the bottom, and Team Ineos, they had lost Luke Rowe from that incident with Tony Martin yesterday, and they haven't been looking strong all tour. I was wondering how well they were going to ride. However, they put in a very smart move with Egan Bernal. Here you see him going off the front. Valverde stayed with him for just like 30 seconds maybe, and then he was gone. So Bernal was off the front, and Moss was left to chase. So Moss bounced back from his issues earlier on, and that was very good news for Alaphilippe. Then Geraint Thomas went on the attack, and it seemed like a strange move at the time because he was chasing his own teammate. However, with this acceleration, Moss was spit out the back, and eventually Alaphilippe was in trouble. However, Alaphilippe, he did not totally crack. He kept the gap manageable, and with that long descent and him being such a good descender, he caught back up to the GC group, but Bernal was still alone ahead. So here's the top 10 for the stage. Quintana took the victory. Bardet in second, Lutsenko in third, and Bernal is down there in eighth. He gained 32 seconds on the GC group. So here's the GC after the day. Alaphilippe, he keeps his jersey. He now has a minute and 30 seconds on Bernal, who's in second place, now 5 seconds ahead of his teammate Geraint Thomas. Kruijswijk and Pinot are still there. Buchmann, he actually did a lot of the work to chase down Thomas's move, and he still looks strong. He's in 6th place, and Quintana jumped all the way up to 7th place. So here's a look at tomorrow's stage, and it's a short one, 126.5 kilometers, full of action. There are 5 categorized climbs, and again, 2 of those climbs are over 2,000 meters. Alaphilippe didn't seem to be bothered by the elevation, but this accumulation of climbs may be starting to have an effect. Here's that final climb, and this is actually good news for Alaphilippe because if he can stay close like he did today and ride smart, this final climb isn't, in and of itself isn't all that difficult. So if he can stay close here, he'll still have a shot to be in yellow. Today was a fun stage, and there were some movements in GC. It was actually a better stage than I expected to see today. However, there are still way more questions than answers, and nothing is really for sure yet. So it looks to be a very exciting 2 days to come in the mountains. So the biggest question on everybody's mind remains, can Alaphilippe hang on to it? Today, he rode pretty well, and Enric Mas was there again. He's looking better, and that's very good news for Alaphilippe because if he is going to win, he's going to need Mas in the mountains. So tomorrow is a short, punchy stage, like we saw on the profile. Can Alaphilippe hang on another day, or was today a sign that he is weak and he's going to get dropped? Or was he just kind of riding within himself, and did he know that as long as he was close on the top of that final climb that he was going to make up some time on the descent? We'll just have to see what happens tomorrow. Now, Ineos is looking better because they definitely have Bernal to play with, and he can make some solid attacks. And we saw today that even when Mas was there, Alaphilippe was still a little bit isolated. So it was looking very dangerous when Bernal made that move. However, it looks to me like Ineos has a leadership question because Bernal looks stronger, but I still think deep down that they're riding for Thomas, and Thomas is not going to want to give up. I'm not sure if that move today was planned when he was chasing down Bernal. Obviously, the end effect was that Alaphilippe got dropped, and it was a good thing. But I questioned it when it was happening, and it didn't seem logical. But we'll just have to wait and see. When it comes down to it, who are they going to ride for? There are only 5 seconds that separate Thomas and Bernal, and it just seems like they don't really have a clear leader. This could be a good thing for them depending on how they play it and if Bernal and Thomas can sort of keep their egos in check. Alaphilippe doesn't have a super strong team, so he can't repeatedly chase down both of these guys. So if they really do use Bernal as the first guy to go, and they are willing to sacrifice him in case he does get caught and then Thomas can make another move, then they could be in good shape. But at the same time, Thomas has to be willing to just sit there on Alaphilippe when Bernal goes and be willing to let Bernal gain time and possibly win the race. And that's where I see that this is going to fall apart because I don't think Thomas is willing to do that. Meanwhile, Thibaut Pinot has looked to be the strongest climber up until this point. However, today he didn't look as strong as he looked in those earlier mountain stages. So was he just on a little bad day or maybe saving energy for those other two stages to come? Or is this a sign that he's starting to wear out? So it's still anybody's guess what will happen in the next 2 days, and that should make for a very exciting race. The main takeaway today for me is that Bernal looks to be very strong, and if he keeps this up for the next 2 days, that could have a major impact on this race. As far as predictions for tomorrow, I'm going to pick Simon Yates for the victory. There was a big group of 33 today, and Simon Yates wasn't in the group. Adam Yates was, so I think they were saving him for either tomorrow's stage or the stage after. And if he's in the break, he showed he has really good legs so far for stage wins. I pick Simon Yates for victory tomorrow. For the GC, I say Alaphilippe keeps it for one more day because that final climb isn't super difficult. And if he can stay within the group, he still has a minute and 30 seconds of an advantage. So he may lose time tomorrow, but I think it won't be enough to get him out of yellow. So tomorrow, a huge GC day, short, action-packed. It should be a very fun stage to watch. I will see you tomorrow.